ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Okie Podcast. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Okie Podcast. On this episode, I have a very special guest. He is an actor. He is also a retired architect, and he also does like a lot of other cool things too. And I'm just gonna get to know him better, and hopefully y'all get to know him better too. His name is David C. Tam. Is that right?
Yeah,
Did I butcher that?
that's right, Russell.
Okay.
Hey, Russell, I appreciate you letting me be here and share all kinds of odd stuff. You're probably going to learn more about me than you really want to know. But really, it's great to be here and to share things. And hopefully it won't be just, I don't know, just weird stuff. Unless your audience is into weird stuff.
They probably are.
They probably are.
Yeah,
it's all good.
They'll like it.
Yeah.
Well, David, so for the listeners, could you introduce yourself? Just
Sure.
Where you grew up, where you came from, and what else you've done before acting, and what kind of led to that journey of acting.
Okay. Well, I'm originally from Miami, Oklahoma, and I was born and raised there, home of Steve Owens.
Nice.
My parents had a wholesale greenhouse business that they had for about 35 years, and so I kind of grew up in that kind of environment. And I'm just an Okie guy from an Okie small town, and but it's unusual the way I got to Oklahoma. My parents kind of migrated here. My dad's originally from Hawaii, and my mom's from Ohio, and they had met in college at Ohio State. And when they got married, one of the places my dad got a job offer was Oklahoma City. And the other choices were like Connecticut and Michigan and Ohio and places in the Northeast. My dad decided, well, Oklahoma City will be a nice, warm environment. So he took a job while my mom was finishing school at Ohio State. And then my mom came out later, and she was horrified when she flew on the plane, landed in Oklahoma City, and the first thing she said was, "Oh my God, there's no trees here." And so she just about cried and wanted to go back to Ohio. But eventually they bought a business in Miami, Oklahoma, and that's where I was born and raised. And the interesting thing, I originally wanted, when I was a young child, I wanted to be an astronaut. And it's kind of one of those professions that every kid has, some sort of dream thing that's kind of off the scale. But later on, I wanted to become an architect, mainly because I had artistic talent, and I had an uncle who's an architect that worked in Ohio, and he actually stayed with us for a couple of semesters, going to Northeastern Oklahoma A&M College. And so I learned about what he was studying and learned about architecture, and he was also a really good artist, and so I just wanted to emulate kind of that sort of thing, being able to draw and being creative. I like the idea of being able to design things and construct things, and it's probably one of the most awesome things to be able to create something and see it completed and built, and people appreciate what you've done for them. It's an interesting profession.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Man.
So I attended school at the University of Oklahoma, studied architecture there, and later on got married, and we moved to Tulsa. I had a job offer in Jinx, and so worked for a small architect there, and have been in the Tulsa community ever since. So I worked as an architect for about 23 years.
Wow.
and then due to some circumstances, I went through a divorce and changed professions and thought, um, I think I want to do acting because there were points in my life where there were things that happened that kind of pointed me in that direction, and so I thought, yeah, I've always kind of wanted to do this. Another one of those dream things that you have as a young person, like, yeah, I want to be James Bond. I want to be on the big screen. I want to do this thing that's called acting. But you always sit there and think it's like um, trying to be a rock star. It's like, yeah, everybody wants to do that, but your chances are like zero
Mm-hmm.
of getting there. So you don't ever truly address that as a serious career choice. But after I retired from architecture, I decided I was going to give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, had some interesting things that came along the way that gave me opportunities. When my son, who's my oldest, was 3 years old, we were living in Jinx, and we got tapped for a commercial, a Christmas commercial for Kensington Galleria, which is no longer around, but we got tapped to do this commercial, the three of us, Christmas shopping and all that. And that was just kind of like an out of the right field sort of opportunity. And so that kind of got me thinking, yeah, this is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I had other opportunities to be an extra in some films like Twister,
Nice.
which tells you how old I am. But a lot of things I couldn't do because of my job as an architect, and it just took too much time.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to take a couple of days off and just go over here and try being in a movie, try doing something like that. So the opportunity came along, and I just took it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
After I'd been married for 28 years and went through this um, divorce, I met another lady, and she she and I were together for 12 years,
Mm-hmm.
and she was kind of interesting in that she had done all kinds of interesting professional things. Ran a lawn and garden sales company. She'd been a radio DJ, um, and we kind of found this point where we just were on the same track with on everything. And one day there was a opportunity to be an extra in a film that was shooting in Bartlesville, and we thought we'd go give it a shot. Be an extra. And this was going to be a big time movie with Ben Affleck, and we go to a hotel, the DoubleTree, to see what we could do to become an extra, and we're waiting in line for like hours, and there was like 3 or 4 thousand people wanting to be in this movie just to be an extra.
Holy crap.
And we we were standing in line, and they have you fill out forms, um, basic information. You go into this conference room, and you hold up this number, and they take one picture of you head on, and then they go, okay, that's it. We'll let you know if we can use you. And so we were kind of going, well, if that's all it is, that's okay. We'll wait. We're waiting in line, and this guy comes up to us, and he talks to us and kind of interviews us, and we didn't know he was interviewing us. And he goes, so you two are married, a couple? Yeah. So what makes you want to be in a movie? What are your interests here? And so we kind of said, well, we always kind of wanted to do this sort of thing. And so after a long interview, he goes, come with me. we're going somewhere else into this other room. And I was going, but we're going to lose our place in line. What is this that we're doing? And he said, no, this is a much better place. So he takes us into this area where there's like two or three other couples. We go into this room, uh, two at a time. They had one side where they had a woman with a camera and another side with a guy with a camera, and we were going to be. We didn't realize that we were actually going to do a screen test
Mm-hmm.
for a small speaking part for this movie, but we didn't know it at the time, and so we were kind of doing this screen test and tell us about yourself. That's always a thing actors get from casting directors. So tell me about yourself. You know, what makes you interested in doing this film or whatever. And that's always one of those questions you kind of go, really? I hadn't thought about this. But we kind of did that sort of thing. They took some headshots, some body shots, um, and it probably took about 45 minutes. And then they go, okay, here's why we're doing this. And they explained to us what the role was. And we were going, oh boy, this is our very first time to try to be in a movie. And we're already getting a speaking part. But unfortunately, we didn't get the speaking part. Another couple
Oh.
from Bartlesville who lived there and were also a married couple. They got the speaking part, but that's okay. We not not too long after that, we had an opportunity to be in a sci-fi film. They were shooting in Guthrie, and that sci-fi film was originally called Higher. What was it called? Higher something or other, but they eventually changed the name to Apocalypse. And the whole gist of that movie was about how these Russian people, Russian government officials, were turning into rats. And so this U.S. senator goes over to Russia to warn them about why this was happening and so on and so forth. So it was a strange sci-fi movie. We were going to be extras in this as White House press corps people, and we're real excited to do it. They're shooting it in 3D. We'd never seen how they shoot 3D movies. They set up cameras on both sides of the room and take positional shots. And so supposedly this movie was going to be also offered in 3D, and they were going to show it on the Sci-Fi Channel. And so we were real excited, but I really liked doing it. My wife, not so much. She
Mm-hmm.
said, you know, this is not really what I thought it was. There's too much waiting. Um, I thought there'd be a lot more action to this. And if you want to do it, that's fine, but I'm not going to do it. I'll support you. I'll back you if you want to do this, but I really don't want to do this. So that's kind of how it all started. And that was probably back in 2010.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, so I've been
Wow.
doing acting for films, commercials. Even did a music video where I have a speaking part. So
Damn.
yeah. And that was kind of a by accident thing too. There's a lot of things that happen by accident,
Uh-huh.
and the way I look at it, it's all intended to happen. There are no accidents.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all blessings.
Yeah. For real. For sure. Yeah,
Uh,
I didn't know. Were you in Twister or no?
I was going to drive out there to Wakita
Uh-huh.
and decided it was going to take 2 or 3 days just to be an extra in it, and it seemed kind of far away from Tulsa, so I kind of didn't do it. I
Mm-hmm.
came this close, but you kind of find out that all kinds of films want people as extras, and we've really been blessed here in Oklahoma having so many films that come here to shoot Um, I don't think my career would have had quite the drive to it if I lived like in some place like LA, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, where you pretty much have to be in a union, and to be in a union, you have to have experience. So, how do you get experience if you're not a union
Yeah.
member? That sort of thing. But Oklahoma's been good to me. It
Yeah.
really has. Yeah.
Yeah, it's picked up. I was just talking about this the other day. It's really like the film industry is really picking up here, and I honestly, well, let's see, we moved back in 2015. I started working at River Spirit, and
Oh
I
yeah.
seen that like, I was on Facebook and I started seeing like all these casting calls for different movies,
Uh huh.
and I wanted to do it too, but I
Oh, you
work a
could do it.
full time job though, and then we lived in Tahlequah, so I was driving
Uh,
from here to Tulsa back and forth
oh yeah,
for like
yeah.
3 months because we are staying with my brother. But I don't know. Was before that? Was it getting busy then? Because I don't really know the time when the film industry started really coming here to Oklahoma. I don't really
They've
know.
been they've been coming here. Let me think. I know probably well back to the days of things like Twister and the one that Brad Pitt and all of them were in that they shot here in Tulsa. The Outsiders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Occasionally, there were movie companies that would come here just specifically for the location.
Hmm.
But I think it started picking up um, when Hollywood started getting way too expensive, and so they were looking for other places to do film work that
Hmm.
was less expensive. And Oklahoma being a right to work state, you can do production a lot less expensively, and also with the film incentives that the state offers now, man, that's been a big boom.
Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
attracting attracting film companies to come here and getting tax breaks
Yeah.
for doing work here, and other states unfortunately have caught on to doing that too.
Yeah.
So, but it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So, I'd say probably it was picking up pretty good just before 2010, maybe 2008.
Yeah.
Kind of hard for me to say because of my involvement when my involvement actually started doing film. So
Hmm.
I'm just kind of guessing.
Yeah. That's still a long time though.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, because I lived in New Mexico from 2007 to 2015, and so I was like, I wasn't. I mean, I come home for like breaks, Christmas
yeah,
break,
yeah,
but I didn't know what was going on around here.
yeah,
I'd come home and I'd hang out with my family, and I'd go back out there to go
yeah,
back to school. So I don't really know like what was going on around here. It just seemed like because when I was growing up, uh, we'd come to Tulsa, like me and my dad, go to the movies, and there wasn't like a lot of things to do because we just had the mall,
yeah, yeah.
the movies, or like nothing really to do. Even when I was like maybe like 16, when I was able to drive, there's like a few concerts here and there, but
Yeah,
not like now. Like now, like there's things going on. Tulsa, Oklahoma City, all these different casinos they throw on like all these different shows, and there's
sure.
always like stuff to do now. And then and then like the movie business is here, and it's like everybody's like,
Yeah.
they have acting classes in Norman. So
Oh
I
yes,
mean, there's like
yes.
all kind of things now, and it's really cool that that's happening here. It helps the
Oh
state,
yeah.
and
It's it's
yeah,
growing up all around us, and
hmm,
a lot of my actor friends are starting to do their own short films, writing things, producing things. Um, I do writing. Mostly what I do is fiction and poetry, and I've kind of trying and make a stab at doing screenwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've done some things where I do musical lyrics. Um, I'm not exactly the best musician, but when it comes to doing lyrics and things, I'm pretty good at doing that sort of thing.
That's cool.
And I've also looked at doing some things more on the production side of film. For a long time, I did still photography, and so I've got kind of an eye for um, composition and framing things, and I even watch movies to look to see how they're shot and sit there and think, how would I do it differently? When you're on a set too, seeing the way they do filming is interesting, and you kind of start thinking in those terms, like how would I do this differently?
Mm-hmm.
But it's all good. I was recently in a short called Dad that this young guy um, created. He does these really short films, and it's basically him and his camera, and he recruits local actors to participate. And he's got a good eye too for stuff, but it's kind of popping up everywhere, just
Yeah.
everywhere,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing because the more creatives there are out there doing things, the better um, the overall environment, the more stuff that can happen. Oklahoma's been really blessed with all kinds of talent. I'm sure you know that.
Mm-hmm.
People who are actors, people who are astronauts, and Miss Americas, and musicians, and I mean, we have people that come out of the woodwork that become internationally known, and I think a lot of it has to do with the work ethic, the creativity, the drive to do stuff that we're not going to let this get in our way. We're going to do this,
Mm-hmm.
even when people tell us we can't do it, or we have a dream and we want to fulfill that dream. So, yeah, this is a place to be.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that, man. Like, it's I think it's everything you said is like spot on
Yeah,
about the state, you know,
yeah,
because I don't know, a lot of people think that not a lot of talent comes from here, I guess,
yeah.
and so usually it's like OU football,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh
but
yeah,
OU, OSU, whatever.
yeah,
But yeah, like I mean, there's like a lot of people that, like you said, acting, doing music, doing all kind of stuff, you know. And there's a few podcasts that are around here. I checked them out because I was trying to look for a name for this one, but I ran across like all these Oklahoma podcasts, and some like I've checked out some of them, but I haven't checked out all of them. But I mean, I think it's cool, man. I think everybody just needs to.
Well, I think it's wonderful that you've jumped in to create a podcast because it's really um, it's really a good creative outlet,
Mm-hmm.
and that just goes to show you that there's always all kinds of opportunity if you look for it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people want to monetize social media, they want to monetize TikTok, they want to monetize Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and that's fine. But I really think that you're selling yourself short if you're only in it for the money,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you're trying too hard. You're not really living in an authentic dream or vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like this show to get sponsored, but if it doesn't get sponsored or whatever, then I'm gonna keep doing it. You know,
yeah.
I want to
There you
keep doing
go.
it because I think everybody has a genuine, unique story to tell of
Man.
where they came from or if they got in trouble and how it all led to what they're doing today.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, and I'm just like I don't know, like you, like we met like a few times, but we've never like
Sat
sat
and
down
talk.
and
Yeah.
talked like this. So
Yeah.
this is also a good thing for that too. You know, I'm reaching out to people and meeting a lot of really cool people that
Yeah.
are doing things that they want to do, and it's really cool to have these little conversations. Because I'm getting to know you, and you're getting your story out there and how everything came to be, and I just want somebody to probably listen and just be like, believe in themselves.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of opportunity of people. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, so how do you get into film work, or how do you get to do commercials? And um, I don't think I could ever do that. Um, how did you get started? And it's kind of one of those things where if you look and you are open to really learning and putting in the work, yeah, you can do it. And one of the good places to start is finding a casting director, getting on their email list, looking for opportunities there, taking classes. There are classes in Norman. There's also been classes here in Tulsa, um, by different acting coaches, that you can take. You know, so the opportunity is there if you'll look, and you have the confidence that you can do it.
Hmm.
And I'm convinced it's sort of like doing artwork. I used to do all kinds of paintings and drawing, do acrylic painting, and people would sit there and go, "Well, I can't do that." And I'm going, "Yeah, you can. You can learn to do. Anybody can learn to do anything, and don't sell yourself short on what talents you have. Sometimes it may not be the exact same talent as somebody else, but if you'll look, you'll find something that you can really wrap your head around and get into and go, yeah, I love doing this.
Hmm.
And once you find that, then yeah, it'll take you there. It'll
Yeah.
take you there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what I'm beginning to learn too. Like, just trying something. Like, could be art maybe. But I used to draw in high school a lot, and that was okay, But
yeah,
I stopped doing it for like 2 years, and I just became horrible. So like, I actually went out to art school,
uh huh,
and that kind of just fell on my lap to leave this state and go out there, and I was like, I didn't know what to do. I wanted to do music production,
uh huh.
and my aunt said they did have music production. So I took my SATs, and I don't know how I got like I think it was like a 14 or 1500. I don't know
That's
how.
good.
I don't know how.
That's good, man.
I don't know how that happened because I was like
That's
probably gonna get like a low score and
no, no, no.
just like be stupid.
That's good. That's about like that's about what I did. I wanted to attend Rice University in Houston,
Uh huh.
and it's kind of one of those brain schools like Cal Berkeley or MIT, or one of those deals where you have to have a high SAT score. And yeah, there you go. You do the score, you can go to that school. But I tell you what, it's kind of one thing to take a test, and it's a whole different thing to
Yeah.
um, survive the school. I had tried to get an engineering scholarship for Rice University, and I got one of these letters that said, "Well, you were a finalist, but unfortunately, we have so many qualified candidates that you just didn't quite get there. But we wish you well in your future endeavors." And when I think about it, it kind of forced me to go, well, I really can't afford Rice, which is a private school,
Hmm.
very expensive, and without the scholarship, yeah, that wasn't going to fly. But I'm glad that I didn't get it, because it would have killed me.
Hmm.
The academic pressure, how hard they are on students, whether you're a freshman or not. It's like, yeah, it's excruciating. So I ended up going to OU, which I'm really glad I did, because that was a much better fit for me.
Yeah.
And so, and I like to say that, some people who are looking at going to college, and sometimes it's better to start out in a community college like TCC,
Mm-hmm.
and get your feet kind of going, get your feet wet, and try to experience college first, so you don't end up flunking out. But no, seriously, college sometimes isn't for everybody, and sometimes it's not for people right away from high school. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, take your time and explore your options.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing to do. I even taught part time at TCC back when it was Tulsa Junior College, and I was a laid off architect.
Oh,
um, but that was a good experience.
what did you teach?
I taught small business management
Oh
and
yeah.
intro to business, and my wife then was teaching accounting out at the Northeast campus, and so we were in kind of a spot when I got laid off. She was pregnant. We were building a house, and I was going, man, in, the environment is just not there for finding a job. So I was unemployed for longer than I care to mention, and was hired as an adjunct professor at TCC, and that kind of helped carry us too. But again, you have to look for opportunities and do the things you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've I've had interesting experiences. I worked construction, building houses, big houses. I worked heavy construction where you build bridges and do highway stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've worked for Borders as a bookseller when
Oh
Borders
yeah.
was here.
I remember Borders.
Yeah. And you meet interesting people and have interesting experiences. That's how I met my second wife. Was
Mm-hmm.
was at Borders. She was writing. Um, she was trying to write this novel, and she was going to the cafe there over at the store on Yale, and I was going there doing the same thing, writing, and I'd see her every day. And one day I said, "You're either a teacher or you're a writer. Which is it?" She was kind of freaked out at that, because she goes, "I'm a writer. How did you know?" Well, I see you here every day, and you're kind of doing the same thing I'm doing. And so, yeah, there are no accidents. Things happen for a reason. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Dang.
yeah. And that was kind of at a point where um, I was going through. Well, I was trying to think. I think I'd already been divorced and was kind of looking for other work. And then I eventually thought, I spend so much time here at Borders, I think I'll get a job here at Borders. And so that was good for a couple of years. But yeah, you have to kind of go with the flow. And
Mm-hmm. Now, were
yeah,
you at Borders when? Did you quit on your own, or did they shut down when you were
that's
there?
that's an interesting thing. I kind of quit on my own, and um, I was looking at doing some other thing, and the interesting thing about that, it was probably 6 to 9 months later. I mean, I knew the inside that Borders was struggling, and they were having problems, and they're changing CEOs and things, and I kind of saw the writing on the wall and was going, yeah, we may not be here too much longer. So I
Oh.
I kind of got out, and then sure enough, it was probably 6 months later they announced that they were closing all the Borders, and that was kind of a shock, because I had made lots of friends
Mm-hmm.
there at Borders, and some of those people had been there many years. The manager we had was an awesome manager. He had been with Borders probably almost his entire working life.
Wow.
So, yeah, yeah,
Dang. That
yeah.
sucks.
It does suck, but stuff happens.
Yeah.
Stuff like with this coronavirus thing, nobody saw this coming, and the economy and everything just kind of going crazy, and people getting sick, and people are struggling, and it really beats down on people. And I think people kind of are going, well, how do we emerge from this? What can I do to get out of this? I really sympathize with everyone's financial plight. You know, it's not a good time, but again, you've got to look for the opportunities, and you've got to have hope. And I'll say one thing: you got to trust God, and God will find a way to take care of you. Um, and there are no accidents.
Mm.
Things happen for a reason. Um, I could tell you how, um, I was married for 12 years. My wife passed away in 2018.
Oh man, sorry about that.
Um, she had gotten pneumonia and was in the hospital for like 31 days, and that turned into sepsis, which is fatal. The ironic thing was she was actually improving, and then suddenly she took a turn for the worse, and they called me almost 3 o'clock in the morning, said, "You got to come down here. She's not going to make it." And so I was there when she passed away. But the interesting thing is that my girlfriend that I have now in Enid, she and I met through acting, and my wife then, who had passed away, had actually met her. We had gone to a we were filming a Oklahoma Lottery commercial, and there was just the two of us, and so my wife got to meet her, who eventually became my girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
who actually helped me through her passing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that was no accident, um, especially when you understand how she and I met, my girlfriend and I. Um, that's a whole different story. we There was a casting call for this Oklahoma Lottery commercial, and it required two people, a man and a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to my appointment in Norman, and I went early. I went an hour early, and I was going, I'm early and everything. Can I do my audition early? And they said, "Oh yeah, sure. We're going to pair you up with somebody since it's a man and a woman, and you're going to do a little improv thing for your audition." And so the woman that they paired me up with became my girlfriend eventually. But we had a really good audition, and afterwards I was kind of joking. I said, wouldn't it be funny if we got this job, because it paid pretty well? Wouldn't it be funny if we got this job and we did so well? We felt like we did well, and she was kind of going, "Yeah, that would be cool, but I don't think it's going to happen." And then not long after that, she got a notice and I got a notice that we had been booked for the commercial, and she goes, "So I'm pretty sure you're the guy that I auditioned with. Is that you?" She had emailed me, and I said, "Yeah, that's me." And so we got to do that job together. But the interesting thing was we actually met each other about 3 years before, I think. There was a commercial that we're shooting in Oklahoma City at the Chesapeake Arena for Nike, and Russell Westbrook was in it, and that was one of those deals where they wanted like 2,000, 3,000 extras, to fill the arena and do this thing and that.
Mm-hmm.
And So we show up, and the money's really good. It's like $300 for 2 days, just to be an extra. So we show up, and the interesting thing is there were so many people, and they moved us around so much, and we really couldn't figure out how this commercial was going to work. And I was sitting in this section as part of this crowd, and this woman was in front of me, and she was with two young boys. They're probably in their 20s, and she was kind of raking him over with, "What do you mean you're bored? You want to quit? Don't quit. You're not going to get paid. You got to stay here the whole 2 days," and so on and so forth. And I started laughing at that, and I kind of jumped in. I said, "Yeah, guys, listen to your mom. Where else are you going to make $300 this easily, for such short work?" And they're going, "Yeah, but this is boring, and we don't want to do this anymore," and all that. And so I actually met her then and not realized it. At that time, she had blonde hair.
Oh.
So later on, when we did the commercial,
Mm-hmm.
she had dark brown hair, and I didn't even make the connection at all that
Mm-hmm.
that was her. And then we kind of made this in discussing things that we've done before and all that, we kind of can go, "Oh, you were that lady that had the two teenagers or college age kids that didn't want to be in the commercial. I remember you." Well, what's funny about all that was sometime after we'd been together, after, since my wife had passed, we'd been together, and I was looking through some old photographs that she took from that time where we're shooting the Westbrook commercial, and I was kind of down in this tunnel area, and I was standing by Russell Westbrook, and she had taken this she's trying to get a picture of Russell Westbrook, and they tell you don't take pictures while you're doing these commercials, and don't take pictures of stars or any of that. You're going to get kicked out. But
Mm-hmm.
she kind of got some pictures, and she's trying to get a good picture of Russell Westbrook, and she actually got a better picture of me than him because the light was better on me. And she didn't even realize she had taken a picture of me. And I was looking at that, and I said, "Hey, you remember taking this picture?" And she went, "Oh my God, I took a picture of you and I didn't even know it." So again, you see, Russell, things do not happen by accident. Things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's pretty.
That's a really good story.
That's like a Twilight Zone
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we actually met long before, and yeah.
What the heck?
What the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I can even send you a copy of that picture if you want. I
Yeah.
can email it to you.
Yeah.
It's,
I want to see it. That's really cool. Holy crap.
yeah.
Yeah. What?
Kind of blows your mind,
Yeah, it
doesn't it?
does.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things you want to see in like a
Like a.
Hallmark movie,
Yeah.
right? Oh yes, you find true love.
You're gonna write that.
Yeah, I'll write it.
Wow. Man, that's crazy. That's a real interesting.
I told you I had weird things to say.
That's really cool though.
Yeah.
Just see that picture. Hey, that's me.
What's funny is she didn't even realize that she had that picture. I was
Yeah.
looking through all these pictures that she had taken, and I said, because I guess the main reason why is because when I go do film shoots, they tell you don't bring a camera to the set, don't bother other actors. They want to keep everything under wraps, and I understand that.
Hmm.
And there are people that like to sneak pictures, and it's not to say that my girlfriend does that all the time. It's just that she just happened to do that
Yeah.
because she was close
Hmm.
to where Russell Westbrook is, and there are a lot of other people doing it. And so it's like, yeah, we want pictures of Russell Westbrook.
Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
And So that's kind of how that happened. But since I never do that, I was going, I wonder if there's any good pictures from that Nike um, commercial, because I'd like to see if if there were some good pictures of other stuff, not of me necessarily. And that just kind of blew my mind when I saw that. I'm kind of going, yeah, that. What are the odds?
That's
And the funny thing about that photograph too, there's like one other guy in that picture, this little shorter guy who's supposed to be like Russell Westbrook's. Um, I don't know if he'd say like a trainer or he's on the training staff. Somebody like that, kind of dressed with a tie and everything, and
Mhm.
I was dressed like a fan, so I had a Nike shirt on. So there you go.
Man, that's really cool. Does
Yeah.
she? I know COVID's all last year.
Yeah.
Um, but does she still like act and everything?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
we we try to do things together.
Hmm.
And we try to do things apart. Sometimes you'll get a casting call that's, in particular, they're looking for someone who's a woman, Caucasian, blah, blah, blah,
Hmm.
and with me, a lot of stuff that I go for, they want people of any ethnicity or I like to have on my thing, I'm ambiguous. Which, no, not sexually, just ethnically ambiguous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we try to do stuff. The interesting thing with all this virus thing is it's really changed the way we do auditions. A lot of auditions we do remotely or by video.
Hmm.
And a really good example of that, she and I, a couple of weeks ago, were in Gulf Shores, Alabama, taking a little 1 week vacation during the ice storm.
Hmm.
And we get this casting call for this commercial for this company that does leaf things for your gutter. I'm not going to mention the company because
Okay.
there's lots of them, but anyway, they were doing a casting call and they wanted a man and a woman. So we actually did a filming thing remotely from Alabama
Hmm. Oh, really?
for that commercial and submitted it. And um, there's a lot of auditioning things that I do for this lady that's located in Texas.
Hmm.
Yeah, opportunities pop up. You just get out your ring light, your lights, set up your background.
Hmm.
Mic yourself up. I usually do stuff with a smartphone, but smartphones are good enough to take really good video. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so that's the way I do a lot of auditions now, which is
Hmm.
kind of strange because in other times you go to the casting director's location and then have a camera set up and they go okay, we're ready, do a slate your name, tell us your name and how tall you are and who you're represented by, and then they go okay, whenever you're ready, you do your part, and then they go, well, thanks. Which is it's kind of like one of those things where you're kind of going, okay, so I don't get any feedback. Did I do good? Did I not do good? And you
Hmm.
don't know until afterwards. Usually,
Hmm.
they'll let you know um, with an email that congratulations, you booked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it saves a lot of trips going to Norman or wherever.
Yeah, that's true. Especially from here.
But I have done some pretty good traveling. I was filming a Chickasaw Nation um, recreational commercial down in Sulphur, Oklahoma, and that was during kind of an icy period a couple of years ago. And I was there, and I get this call from this production company in Dallas saying, "We're interested in using you in this movie. Do you want to do it? Can you come to Dallas?" And I was already in Sulphur, Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going, "Yeah, sure. I'm more than halfway there, and I'll be going south away from all the ice and stuff. Yeah, I'll come down there." So I did about 3 days of filming on this movie called Hooking Up, and yeah, that was a lot of fun and really something unexpected. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even do an audition for that. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Wow.
they I guess saw me from my it was either IMDb or uh, my talent agency's site. They saw me from that and said, "Yeah, we think we want to use you." So
Damn.
yeah. Again, things
Yeah.
don't just happen by
Well.
accident. If they're meant to happen, they happen.
Uh huh.
And but
What agency are you with?
I'm with Magna Talent Agency.
Uh huh.
Yeah, they're located in Norman. Great agency. Before I signed up with them, I was doing um, things on my own, booking things on my own, which was okay, but it just didn't get as much activity as I would have liked. And so then I signed up with them. And interestingly enough, when I signed up was the same time that my girlfriend signed up. We signed up at the same time
Mm-hmm.
um, um, down there, and so it's been good for us. Um, but it's it's kind of a curious thing that there are people I think who are trying to do acting and they go, "Man, I just can't seem to book enough stuff. How do you do it?" Um, you just got to keep putting yourself out there, applying for stuff, keep taking classes. I've taken improv classes and acting classes and voiceover classes. And voiceover is actually a good area to get into.
Mm-hmm.
It um, it's like commercial work. It actually pays pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Have you done?
but basically you need a microphone, you need a computer, you need the software that can help you with doing the recording, and you just need a really quiet place.
Yeah.
To do your voiceover work. And the interesting thing is, you don't need the equipment to manipulate what you recorded because the client would rather have that product in a raw state so they can manipulate it the way they want, so they can get the sound that they want. So you just do the best you can. And as far as doing a good voiceover product, got to
Mm.
be enthusiastic. Got to have that energy.
Have you done anything with voiceover yet?
I've done a tiny bit,
Yeah.
and I've not really focused on that. I've mostly focused on film work and commercial work,
Mm-hmm.
and even during this time with the COVID virus, I've gotten to do. Well, I was working on this movie called Reagan, which is a biopic about Ronald Reagan, and they were shooting it in Guthrie. And I was in the middle of that, and there was a casting call for a commercial for this Oklahoma City restaurant. And right in the middle of that, I booked it, and it was like, okay, I've got a free day here. I can go do this commercial, and then come back and work on the Reagan movie. But
Nice.
yeah, you just gotta keep going at it,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to quantify um, how to get there and what it is that they're looking for. Nobody really knows, because I'm always surprised at some of the stuff that I do book.
Mm-hmm.
The good example is Devon Energy was wanting to do an industrial, which is like a in-house video for training employees, and so they wanted Hispanic people or Latino or whatever. And I thought, I think I'll apply for that and see what happens. And I got a part as the father of a Devon employee, and I was supposed to be Hispanic. And so, interestingly enough, only half of the people that booked that were actually Hispanic, and I think maybe one person actually could speak Spanish. And then the others were either Native American or like me, who's kind of ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a real interesting um, ethnic background. So if you care to hear,
Let's hear it. I didn't
well,
want to bring it up, but
well, I always get this thing of, "Hey, brother, are you indigenous? What tribe?" And I'll go, "No, I'm not." And they go, "Really? Come on, it's okay. You can
it's okay.
you can say." I used to get that in college,
Uh-huh.
but my dad's from Hawaii, so he's Chinese and Hawaiian, and my mom is German, Scotch, Irish, um, Czechoslovakian, and I actually did a genetic DNA test probably about a year or two ago. One of those deals where you spend like $500. I mean, it was like detailed, and it gives both your father's side of your DNA and your mother's side of your DNA. And I think most of these DNA tests, they just test you for your mother's side.
Mm.
It's less expensive that way. But it turns out that not only do I have those in my ethnicity, but I also have some Native American,
Mm.
like a very small part. I also have some Caribbean. There's some some tribal thing located in the Caribbean or maybe South America, and I'm going, really? How can that happen? But it's there. It's in the DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing with this test is it shows you. They even have these graphics for your father's DNA, where it's traveled from, and your mother's, and they all start at kind of like in Africa, and you can kind of see them moving. You move up into Europe, you move across Europe, you move into Asia, you move from Asia to, you know, Hawaii or wherever, and it's like, wow, that's really fascinating. And at each point, they show that portion of your DNA that's expressed along the way. And this is, of course, over, I don't know, thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you never know, Russell, where you actually come from.
Maybe I should do that.
Yeah. But that I've worked with that are really great Native American people. Kyle Kavika Harris, he's a director and film producer, actor, really cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
You should get him sometime.
What's his name?
Kyle Kavika Harris.
Is he on your friends list?
Yeah,
I'll have to look him up.
And actually, he's Hawaiian and Choctaw.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
You never know where
it's
you
another
come
connection.
From. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to hit him up.
Yeah.
I'm always down to reach out to anybody, you know. That's cool.
Yeah.
You have to remind me, though, because I forget a lot.
I will.
But yeah.
I'll remind you.
Yeah, remind me.
Yeah, he's done some stuff that has gotten recognition by film festivals and Sundance. You know, good things like that. Yeah. We have people in Oklahoma that can do some really good things.
Yeah.
Another good film, Wild Indian, was shot here in Oklahoma, and I think it got recognition at Sundance recently. So,
You were in that too?
yeah,
Well,
I was a lawyer.
you're a lawyer.
It's a very small part.
I was in that too.
Were you?
Well, like we did it was the funeral scene.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so I saw this thing on Facebook, and they said they were looking for like powwow singers.
Okay.
And
So you did
so,
that?
well, like I put in
Were
my
you a
stuff.
singer or were you a drum
It
person
it
or?
was it was a crazy thing, but so anyways, I sent my stuff in. I was like, we'll see if I can get it. So they emailed me back, and they're like, yeah, we want to book you, And I was like, cool. And they said, so here's the scene, like it's gonna be you and like I don't know 5 or 6 other people, holding a drum, singing
Yeah,
at
yeah,
this person's funeral.
yeah.
And I don't know like I know like some songs, but I don't really like sing like Native American. Like I don't
Okay,
really like. I'm not a singer in that sense, but I was
okay.
like whatever. I'll get in and I'll just fake it, fake it till I make it. So anyways, like I was like cool. I was pretty excited. I was like this is gonna be cool. I've never worked on like a set of like indigenous Native
Yeah,
American. Like I've
sure.
never worked on a set like that. I was like, I just wanted to go and,
Yeah,
probably meet some new people and just kind
yeah.
of see what that's like. So it's like the night before or the evening before. So they tell me they want to book me. So I'm like, cool. And then they email me again and they're like, okay, well we can't get a hold of this person that's supposed to be like the lead singer or something.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's what the email said. So now you're gonna be a pallbearer in the email.
Oh,
So I was like,
okay.
okay, cool. So like, what do you want me to wear? Like they're like, it's kind of like it's supposed to be up north. It's
Okay.
setting up north, and just try to wear like I don't know, just basic stuff.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. And if you have like any Native American like stuff, like a hat with beadwork on it or something,
Okay.
like maybe wear that. I was like, okay, like yeah. So I'm like, cool. So then like I get another email saying, okay, like the drum thing's back on. The drum group's back on. I was like, okay, cool, and then so that email came around midnight and then filming started at they wanted us there by 7
Oh
and
no.
I had to go to Guthrie.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I gotta go to sleep. Like, and I couldn't sleep for some reason. I don't know why. I just couldn't sleep. And then
Hey, you're not the only one.
it
I get that too.
yeah,
I know that I've got to shoot. I've got to meet, or I got to be on set like at 7 o'clock, and I'm going, man, I need to go to sleep. And so then it's like, you know, okay, I'm only gonna get 3 hours sleep here.
yeah,
Can I do this?
exactly.
What is that? Well, you get
Oh
nervous
man,
or excited.
yeah, I guess I was excited and just kind of like ready to do it. And so, man, like I didn't go to sleep till like 2. I just kept laying there and I was like, I need to go to sleep. And I somehow fell asleep. I woke up and my alarm went off at like 4:30.
Yeah.
So it went off at 4:30 and I was like, oh god, I don't want to drive over there. And so I got my stuff and I took like I don't know like extra clothes just in case they wanted me to change and started
Yeah.
driving over there. And we got there and there's people there that I've met before, like
Yeah.
some natives that I met before, and there's like this other guy that I met, and he was really cool. And they were like, I guess they scrapped that drum group scene, I guess, and they're like,
Oh
all
no.
right, so now like you guys gonna be like funeral attendees. And I was like, okay, whatever, I don't
It
care.
keeps
Yeah,
changing.
it kept changing, and then got there and we were waiting around for probably like a couple hours and we're all just in the bottom like basement part. We're just like chilling, like
Yeah.
telling stories, like just having a good time. Finally, we got to go up. Yeah, it was just a funeral scene. So I'm like walking in, and I sit down,
Yeah.
and and then other people. There's like 3 people up on the podium. I forgot what they were doing. Have you watched it yet?
No.
No. I know it was at Sundance. I was wanting to go, but I didn't go. I mean, it was
I'd be excited to see it, but it's kind of like a lot of these films. It's kind of like, well, where do I get to see it?
yeah.
How can I see it? Is it on Amazon Prime or is it on Netflix, or where is it? Like, or do I have to go to the Circle Cinema, which is not a bad place to see some of these films,
Hmm.
but it's just knowing like if they're scheduled. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no, I haven't seen it yet, but
I wonder how it looked. But yeah, like it was really cool seeing Michael Gray Eyes and
yeah.
Chasky Spencer do their thing. And there was a scene where Michael Gray Eyes, I guess he comes in and he views the body and
Uh-huh.
he's like looking at it, and then like he's leaving, and I guess it's that character's mom, I think. I might be fucking up the story, but she confronts Michael Gray Eyes, so they get into this little tussle at the where he's trying to leave,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think he like pushes her down, but there's a mat there, so she's like doing her own stunts. And I remember like them asking her like, "Are you okay with like
Doing this.
yeah?" And she was
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, let's do it." Like just down. So they'd probably shot that like maybe 6 times, but it
Oh
was really
wow.
cool. Yeah, it was really cool to see that.
Yeah.
And then like got to meet Michael Gray Eyes, and he was cool too. Like he just came, started talking to us and everything,
Yeah.
and then it's crazy like seeing like actors like, oh yeah, like just talking, having a good time. Then all of a
Oh
sudden it just
yeah.
like changes. They go right into character. So like
Yeah.
he becomes like I think he's a cop or something, and he just like has this like look on his face like like police guys do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't mess with me.
That's
So it's pretty crazy, man.
yeah.
And you played a lawyer.
Yeah. Um, basically, the story is that um, one of the guys was accused of doing a murder in the past, and so like he's getting into legal trouble with things with it having to do with the murder and stuff, and so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it was like just tiny part.
Did you have any lines?
No.
No.
But the interesting thing was the director was going, okay, I want you to do this. I want you to do this with attitude. You're carrying your briefcase and you're just like, Mr. Big Time Lawyer. which is funny because you never know. That's an interesting thing. You never know what they're going to ask you to do or how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not to digress, but there was this film that I was going to be an extra on called America Imagine the World Without Her. And they had this scene where they were going to have this wagon and they have these they were going to have these people that were going to be in front of the wagon and on the wagon, and this wagon was supposed to be horse drawn, but they had these stunt people pulling the wagon, and the wagon's supposedly moving. And
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't know they were going to do this, but so the director goes, so anybody here have a really loud voice? And I immediately shouted, I do, and everybody about dropped to the ground. They're going, what the hell? So the guy goes, okay, here's what I want you to do. We're going to be moving the wagon. I want you to jump in the wagon, and this is what I want you to start yelling out. And
Uh-huh.
this other guy's going to be driving the wagon, and so you're going to run around the back of the wagon, and carefully get up into the wagon as it's moving, and then you're going to stand by him, and you're going to be yelling this stuff. And so we did this like all morning, and it was kind of cool because this was the first time I had ever had any sort of speaking thing, and they had a um, they had a steady cam on me,
Oh, really?
so they did different shots of me going around the wagon, getting up on the wagon, and standing there. And we did it so many times that towards the end, I almost didn't make it up on the wagon. And I'm going, please don't let me fall. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this guy got hurt. And we weren't even pulling the wagon with real horses. So yeah, you never know what's gonna be done or what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so, but the point of that is, the director is looking for something, and jump in and volunteer,
Mm.
even if it's going to be something like, "You want me to do what?" Yeah. Unfortunately, after all of that being said, they actually cut that scene from the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
I still got a credit, but it was for that. But it's kind of like, so did I miss the scene? You know,
Hmm.
maybe the movie ran too long, and that's another thing. You can get a speaking part, and that doesn't guarantee that your part's gonna stay there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. There was a there's a real good example of that. I'm trying to think what film it was. Um, maybe it was maybe it was To the Wonder, the one with Ben Affleck. One of those films, there were a bunch of actors that had filmed. I mean, big time acting people.
Hmm.
And they had parts and they had scenes, and some of the stuff got completely cut. And so then they got really angry, like, wait a minute, why did I get cut? Why did this happen? And the point of that is that, as an actor, you don't have any control over what they decide to include in a film or not.
Hmm.
And so you just roll with it and hope that, yeah, I didn't end up on the cutting room floor,
Yeah.
so to speak. Yeah. But I thought it was funny that even big time actors get pretty miffed or pissed off. Like, what happened? Well, didn't you get paid? Like, these
Yeah.
people get paid big money,
Yeah.
so there you go.
You got
But
paid anyways, so.
yeah, what are you complaining about?
For real. What
But
What did you think about Golden Arm? Our
that
di-
was
our day there.
actually I ended up doing several days of Golden Arm, and I really loved it. It was fun.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because they emailed me and they're like, "We
Do you want
want
to do
we
some
want your
more?
group, the group that was here today. Are you
Yeah,
available to come back
yeah,
tomorrow?" And I think the
yeah,
next day. And I was like, "Man, I gotta work. See if I can get off." But and then I already used like a lot of PTO for other things, so I was like, I
yeah.
can't.
Again, that's one of those things. If you have a full time job, you can't just kind of go, "Yeah, I think I'll blow it off to do this." I mean, that's the nice thing about being retired and doing what I do full time. I don't have to necessarily worry so much about. Well, I do worry about the money, but
Mhm.
not worrying about job conflicts and being able to go to shoots. Um, Sometimes it's like I say at a moment's notice. You can be on one film shoot, and then you get a call that's, oh, by the way, can you work us in to do this? Sure.
Yeah.
This will be good. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was I can't wait for that movie to come out.
Yeah.
It was actually like funny.
I don't know when it's supposed to come out, and that's another thing. When they were having auditions for that film,
Hmm.
I had auditioned for a speaking part for this one thing, and I forget what exactly the part was. I was a referee, an arm wrestling referee,
Nice.
and so I did really well on the audition. I even got a call back saying, "Can you come?" Which is, can you come back and audition some more,
Hmm.
or because we're getting this down to a decision. And the interesting thing about that is, the person who got the part wasn't an actor per se.
Uh-huh.
It was actually a guy who was with the production. I think he was actually a producer and a finance guy for the film. So I'm going, okay, he's a producer. He can get in there. He can have the role.
Yeah.
You take it away from us actors who struggle to do this. And he, in all fairness, I think he did a pretty good job. But it was kind of like, huh? So I lost out to this guy.
Man.
No, it's good.
Yeah,
It's
but
all good. I can't complain. But it was fun. I was a super fan of the woman who played the villain. I don't know if you remember her. She was Brenda,
Brenda, yeah.
the Bone Crusher, and
Mm-hmm.
all that. Anyway, so I'm the one person who is like cheering for the evil the evil arm wrestler, and everybody else is cheering for the other girl who actually wins.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of different, but that was lots of fun. And
Yeah.
then what's interesting, after that film, I got a Golden Arm T-shirt arm wrestling deal,
Oh,
and they
nice.
sent me. I don't know if you remember this, but you know how the different fans had big blow up heads
Oh,
of the
oh, I
different
saw pictures of
wrestlers.
that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got one of the heads of Brenda.
Did you?
Yeah, they sent it to me. They gave me her. I don't think it was the actual sign big head thing that
Yeah.
I was holding in the film, but it was one like that, and I was totally surprised they sent that to me.
Man, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's
Where's
like,
mine? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, no, but it was
No.
like totally unexpected. It's like, wow, they sent me this memento from this movie.
Uh huh.
So I've got it in my apartment, and I've got it kind of up on the wall. And so when you walk into the apartment, you see
You see
this
Brenda?
woman going like this, like she's angry, like she's gonna tear you apart. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool movie.
I remember like, cause she walks in like where I'm like right there.
Yeah,
She's like, "What if I push this guy?" I don't know if you remember that.
yeah,
She
I
was
do. I
and I was
remember
like,
that.
"Yeah, push me." I'll exaggerate it.
Yeah, yeah. Her name was Olivia, the actress's name, and she's really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. We're friends on Facebook.
For
So,
real?
yeah. For real.
Badass.
Yeah. Yeah. Occasionally you get to meet some actors or actresses that are pretty cool
Mhm.
about that sort of thing. I was in a movie called 13 Minutes, which I'm really excited about seeing, and it's this disaster movie. And the story is four different groups of people have their own experience of this 13 minutes during this tornado disaster.
Mhm.
And I play this emergency management person. And the interesting thing was the first day of filming, one of the main actresses, Amy Smart, um, was going to be the lead person for the emergency management team.
Mhm.
And so I go in, and there's like three other of us with her, and we're just kind of sitting around talking before shooting. I didn't even recognize who she was, which is terrible. It's like,
David.
I just thought she was another extra or something. And I'm going, so, and I think I even said, so what part do you play in this movie? like she was probably going, well, I'm one of the main actresses. She didn't say that. She was very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, she's very totally unassuming and very nice. I mean, if it was somebody else, they'd probably sit there and go, "What? You don't recognize who I am?
Are you kidding me,
Are
sir?
you kidding me? I've been in 50, 100 films.
I was in the
Sorry.
Avengers. How dare you?
Yeah, sorry. I've acted with the best directors. No, but yeah, I'm excited to see that film because it's I've got a pretty good part in that movie, and it's got some interesting people in there too. Trace Adkins, the country music singer, he's in that film, and there's a scene where he gets injured and we're supposed to carry him on a stretcher, and I don't know if you know how big a man he really is.
Yeah, he's a
but
tall dude.
he's tall, and he's like, I don't know, 350 or
Jeez.
something, and real tall. Well, they decided they weren't going to use him actually in the stretcher, so we have to carry this guy who's like a double, and the double is no smaller nor lighter than him. And so when we first tried to pick him up, it was like, whoa, because we tried to pick him up with four guys, couldn't
Yeah.
do it. So we actually had six people on the stretcher to pick him up, and I thought I was going to die because it was like, you want us to carry him from where to where? We're not going to make it.
Oh
This
my
guy is
god.
way too big. But
Hmm.
we shot it, and we had to do the repeated action several times, and afterwards I was going, okay, if I have to carry this guy one more time, I'm not going to make it. But yeah, that was a fun movie to do too. We have a scene where we all jump into this tornado shelter, and they made a fake tornado shelter. And what's funny about that is they had these wind machines, and they're just blowing like crazy. And I mean, it's like literally, I don't know, 70-mile-an-hour wind, and you're trying to run towards the tornado shelter, and this tornado shelter is like real shallow, like it's fake,
Yeah.
but they had pads in it, so you're supposed to jump into the shelter and then duck down so they can't see you.
Mm.
And there's several times where I fell on one of the actresses trying to get into the shelter, and then there was another deal where we're running, and this other actress can't run because the wind is blowing so hard,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, oh no, this is not gonna work. No, we ended up getting it filmed, and jumping into cars, and like we're gonna run away from the tornado, and
Mm.
yeah, it's cool,
Damn.
exciting film.
Yeah. 13 minutes?
13 minutes.
13
Yeah.
minutes. I'm trying to remember if I remember seeing that like on the casting calls and stuff. 13
Yeah.
minutes. It sounds familiar, so I might have.
It should be coming out. I want to say it's going to come out in May. So
On Prime or.
I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of these films are supposed to have a theatrical release date, and since theaters aren't really showing films, or at least not that much,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it's going to work. If it's going to come out on Prime or
HBO Max.
Netflix or HBO, or I know some of the films that we've shot lately in Oklahoma have either been shown on Netflix or Hallmark Channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you never know.
David, you're everywhere.
I'm everywhere. I even was a taxi driver for this one film that's gonna be on the Hallmark Channel. It's it's called Parked for Love.
Park for Love?
Yeah, this woman goes camping, and she finds love, I think, with a park ranger or something, and it's kind of, I don't know. I'm not gonna say cheesy, but it's a Hallmark movie, so
Yeah.
there you go. And I play this taxi driver, and I'm driving this Prius that they've made to look like a taxi, and that was kind of cool.
Nice.
I like driving vehicles for films.
Mm.
Yeah, I've driven Jeeps. Um, I drove this boat for this for one of the Chickasaw recreation commercials. This power boat down on Tin Killer. No, what Tin Killer? Anyway, this power boat is like an inboard, like it'll do like 70 miles an hour on the water.
Mm.
And so we're shooting in the boat, and the owner of the boat is ducked down, and he wants me and this young actor who's playing my son to be driving the boat and stuff. And so they decide to do a drone shot, and so he's ducked down, and they're telling me, okay, we want you to open up the boat. And I go, what? Like, really? You want me to see how fast this boat will go? And yeah, don't be afraid to open it up. the
Oh my
the
god.
owner's right there with you. So it's one of these deals where go down the arm of this lake and back again and down the arm of this lake and trying to judge how much lake I've got before I need to slow down and turn around.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, so I probably got it up to about 65.
Hmm.
And what's funny is the production crew is going, "That was awesome. You outran the drone. The drone couldn't keep up with you." I'm going, as long as you get the shot
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. It's lots of fun. I'd like to do a thing where it's a film that's a action thriller or something where you get to drive cars and do chases and all that. I'm not certified to be um, a stunt driver, but I do know how to do a J turn. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. Now, if anybody will trust me with their car to do it, that's a whole different thing. Hey, you want to go out? We can do this. We can do it right here in
We'll
front
be
of your
we'll be
house.
back, everybody. We're gonna go try it out real quick.
We'll let you know how it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah.
The neighbors may not like that though.
Who cares? No. They're loud whenever I'm trying to do
Yeah,
this. No.
yeah. I can see the headlines. Two people were arrested by the Broken Arrow Police Department for doing stunt driving.
Hey, we're practicing.
Hey, it's how it's done, right?
You need us to do this?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Do anything for a film.
Man, David, I didn't know like, you've been doing this for that long. Like like you said you tried out for Twister,
2010.
and then
Oh well, yeah.
yeah, you didn't do the Twister, but and then going into now, I honestly thought like when it said retired
Like I
architecture,
just quit and
yeah,
then
well, like
and then just started.
retired architecture, I thought you meant like you just recently retired or something, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
No, I've been retired longer
Yeah,
than that. I'm older than I looked.
I didn't. I mean, like, you look young to me, and I'm
Well,
sure you look young
my
to a lot of
yeah,
people.
well that's the advantage I have. I not only have an ambiguous look, but I can play a pretty wide range of ages.
Hmm.
So a good example is I've had a deal where they go, yeah, we want someone kind of in the 40 to 45 year range, and you apply for it, and then by gollies, I got it. I can't believe they think I'm that. And then some of the deals that come up, some of the casting calls, may ask for someone who's older, like in their 50s or something, and then you're disappointed where you go, okay, apparently I don't look old enough, and I'm much older than than 50, so
Man.
yeah. All I'm gonna say. My girlfriend says it's because of the way I speak,
Hmm.
that my mannerisms and the way I speak, I don't sound old. So
Hmm.
I don't know.
I think it is.
I don't know what old's supposed to sound like.
Just that old guy.
Old guy. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. You don't look like old or anything. Like, I mean, I'm. Damn. When do we do that?
Which one? The
Sick Girl.
Sick girl.
When was that?
Uh,
Was that like 3 years ago?
no, I don't think it was that long. 2 years ago.
2 years, almost 2 years, or something like that. Yeah, like look exactly
Yeah.
the same.
Well, you look exactly the same.
Not really.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I've lost some weight, so I probably do now. But during like the pandemic, man, I put on a ton of weight.
Oh, I actually
Man.
gained. I don't know if you can tell, but I've actually gained weight from the pandemic.
I can't tell.
You can't tell.
No.
Yeah, well, I feel it.
I feel it.
I move slower. The pandemic pounds. You can sit around and
Oh man,
just eat.
for
Nothing
real.
to
Like
do.
I ate, I drank bunch of soda, and I just played this Xbox.
Yeah.
That's all I did during.
I belong to a health club, and um, they have been on and off with being open, and I really miss it because I probably haven't exercised really well for a year,
Mm-hmm.
and I can kind of feel it. And I just got a notice the other day from them, an email saying that Monday they're going to open up again. They've been more conservative than other health clubs and gyms, and which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm fully vaccinated now, so I feel I can go exercise and get COVID. No,
Damn. I'm gonna get it now.
no, no.
You should get you think you still wear a mask?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
You should.
Because they don't know for sure if you can still have the virus like in your nose or in your mouth, and that somehow you can still spread it, even though
Yeah.
you don't contract it, that you can still spread it to other people
Mm-hmm.
just by breathing and coughing and sneezing and
Yeah.
so I don't know. I'll still wear a mask for quite a while. I've got 2 kids and I've got 3 grandsons that I'd want people to be careful. Even though everyone's getting vaccinated now, still be careful, wear a mask, social distance,
Yeah.
do the right thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say like Under Armour has some really good masks.
Yeah.
They're real breathable, and they're sweat proof. And I have one, but I need to buy another one because I was a lot bigger when I bought that one. It's a 2X. It's a 2X mask. So, but now like it's really loose on me, and I usually wear it to work
You
because
need
I'm
to grow
moving
more
around.
beard. Feel it out.
Natives, man, they can't really grow them beards.
I know.
But
I know.
no, but I need to buy a smaller one though.
Yeah.
So I bought mine at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Okay.
Sponsor me, Dick's. But no, I'm just kidding. But
if you're hearing this,
yeah, if you
this
haven't heard
podcast
this,
needs a
ahead
good
and,
sponsor.
Go ahead and sponsor
and
me.
Dick's is a good sponsor.
Yeah, yeah. I'll shout you out. I'll sell anything.
Yeah.
But you're not sponsor me yet, so I'm not gonna talk about you no more. But
We'll find you a sponsor. I'll
No,
work
but-
on it, man.
yeah, tell everyone. Say, hey, if you got business,
Yeah.
Russell can shout it out.
Yeah.
Y'all can work together. But no, those masks are really good though. They have one that's an Under Armour one. Then they have one that's made from, well, it's The Rock.
Oh, yeah.
It's from The Rock's collection.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so it's made for like activity.
Oh, activity.
Yeah,
stuff.
like so
Okay.
like if you go to the gym again, it's breathable. It's like it's
You know,
functional, and it's
I
really
haven't thought about that
yeah.
because when I go to the gym, I do some stuff on machines and stuff. But one of my favorite things is to do the rowing machine,
Oh yeah.
and I'm big time into rowing.
Mhm.
I'll row for an hour.
Oh my god.
There are people that go an hour.
Yeah.
How do you do that? I can't row for 5 minutes.
For
or
real.
10, No, but that's one of my main exercises. Or I run around on the track. So
Mhm. You
yeah.
row for an hour.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I can burn. Let's see, in an hour's time, I can probably do. In distance, probably 8K, 10K.
Damn.
Which is a long ways.
Yeah.
And I can burn close to 1,000 calories
Yeah.
in an hour.
Wow.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. That's
Now, ask me to do that right now. I don't think so. I'd have to build up to it. But yeah,
damn. That's pretty cool.
yeah. Rowing is good because it uses a variety of muscles, and you can do real aerobic kind of rowing or anaerobic rowing where you just can't breathe,
Mhm.
or you can just do a steady long distance thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
you
when
can
I
do a variety of things.
when I lived in New Mexico, I was at this CrossFit gym.
CrossFit people are crazy, by the way.
Yeah, I was at this CrossFit gym, and I signed up there to work out and everything, and it had a MMA and all that, so I got into that
Yeah.
too. But I started with CrossFit because I wanted to at least kind of like get into shape before I started that. So I never did CrossFit, never heard of it, and then it's just movements, and they have a thing called
The
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 WOD workout of the
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So I remember we did these wall balls. So basically, you're throwing this ball, this 20
Yes.
pound ball up.
Yes.
You're catching it and you're squatting it. You do that like 10 times, and then we did box jumps.
You do burpees.
And yeah, you got to do burpees. And then the final thing to do after all that, because I think like each thing's a minute.
Yeah.
So you're doing a minute, and they tell you time, go to the next thing. So there's no stopping. There's no
No.
like,
No. No.
oh God. So you're going to the next thing like automatically. And then the last thing was rowing. So I've never rowed before. I've seen it like,
Yeah.
people do it, but I've never done it.
Yeah.
And there's like just a minute, just go as hard as you can. So I
Well,
get on it.
there's some technique to it if you do it correctly,
Yeah.
to where you just aren't going at it with brute vengeance. But yeah,
It's hard,
it's
man.
hard.
Yeah. I went a minute and like I got to like
He start.
40 seconds and I was like, oh God,
I can't make it to a
please.
minute.
I don't know if I can make it. And then like I tried to slow down and they're like,
Yeah.
pick it up.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go. So,
You do it enough, you can do steady and then occasionally do sprint
mhm.
in there, where you get um, your breathing going and your heart rate going, and then you slow back down
Mhm.
to the steady. You do that in intervals. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good way to do it. It really is a good way to burn calories,
it is.
and it's not one of those things that is high impact like other things.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I tried to do it on my own one time. I think Tin Gym has a rowing machine, and um, this was like years, like 4 or 5 years ago. So I like tried to get on it just because I don't do CrossFit anymore. But I got on it and I was going, and 2 minutes was good for me. I was like, oh my God.
well, I have a lot of respect for you that you ever did CrossFit, because those people are crazy.
Yeah.
I hate to say that. I mean, and in some of their challenge deals, their big championship things are insane. Watching them do that. Oh yeah, it's like a big thing like Iron Man or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's really chaotic because I know of like just your regular bench press, your
Mm-hmm.
curls and your squats and just like your standard
Yeah.
workout. And then you go to that, never heard of it, and it's just fast
Yeah.
movement and it's just crazy movements all the time.
Yeah.
And then
It
I was
gets you
like, God, I'm gonna
going.
get hurt, or so you really got to focus of like not like falling or like,
Yes.
and if you're tired, just kind of like come back to your place. And then
Yeah.
because of box jumps, I was always afraid of like just tripping up and just
Oh yeah.
shredding my
You can really hurt yourself. Yeah.
my old shin. Yeah, I couldn't think of the word, but yeah, shred my shin up on that box. And
Mm-hmm.
but it's pretty crazy, man. And then when we moved back here, there's a lot of CrossFit gyms, but geez, they're expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
real expensive.
Yep.
So just lay around now. No, I'm just kidding.
Just lay around doing podcasts, enjoying the good life.
Just chilling,
Just chilling.
Yeah, just chilling, reaching out to everybody.
We need to get you doing some more acting. It's good
Yeah,
for you, man.
I know. Like, I was wanting to, and then the pandemic happened, and
Well, they've
you
had
know,
some things come up where I could really see you getting in, like Killers of the Flower Moon.
yeah, yeah,
That's one everybody wants to get into, and they had started production or filming. When was it? Kind of towards the end of the summer. No, it's before that. gads, I've lost track now. Anyway, the pandemic hit, and they were trying to do some, and then they stopped altogether. And then I've heard that in recent times they're going to start up again
Hmm.
for 7 months
Yeah, just straight, huh?
straight.
Yeah.
Going for it. So I've applied, but I don't know what my chances are.
Yeah, I remember they had those huge casting calls.
Oh
What,
yeah,
here, Oklahoma City?
yeah,
I
both
actually
places.
went to the one in Pawhuska
Yeah.
because it was the only time I could go. I was like, oh, if I be an extra, I don't mind. I just want to be on like this
Oh,
set.
it'd be an
Yeah,
awesome, awesome
be an
movie to be
honor,
in. Yeah,
to be on a Scorsese flick at least.
sure. What
And huh?
what's funny is there's this thing on Facebook going around with name the movie that was going on when you were 21, and that will predict how your year is going to be 2021.
Uh-huh.
And so I looked up what movie was number one while I was 21, and it was Dog Day Afternoon
Dog Day Afternoon.
with Al Pacino, and I'm going, it's a sign. That means I get to film with Al Pacino. So who knows? Maybe I can get to do Killers. It'd be cool.
Well, like everything else, David,
What?
it's gonna happen. Things happen.
Things happen.
Yeah,
Things happen
things
for a
happen,
reason.
yeah.
Not by accident.
That was was that last February? The Killers of the Flower Moon? I want to say it was.
I guess so.
I,
I've
I'm
lost
not-
track of time.
Me too. It seems like 2020 just lasted forever.
Yes, it did last forever.
And I kind of just forget
Yeah.
the things that happened before that
Yeah.
because it all kind of just meshes together. But yeah, we went to Pawhuska and, they took my height, clothes size.
Yes.
And they
Yes.
were like,
They want to know all your sizes.
Yeah.
Pant size,
and they were like, well, we'll let you
coat
know.
size, hat size, which is kind of odd. How many people know their hat size if you don't wear hats except maybe ball caps or
Yeah.
something?
And then took all that and then we left. No, dude, it was like I'm pretty sure that happened in like November because that was before because February was when like the pandemic was kind of a thing, but then it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And then in
yeah.
March was when everything like shut down
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So
Then it got real.
yeah, I got pretty real. Everybody's on
Yeah,
lockdown.
Yeah. Man.
And then nobody knew what happened with that. And then just, like you said
Yeah.
on the Facebook, it was like, all right, we're going to start back up. And I think there was like a thing about like send in your stuff again, but virtually.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about that too is for those casting calls, they're still looking for people. But it's kind of one of these deals where you get the impression that you're put into a pool of actors, and then they ask you on the casting call information. So, are you going to take vacations? What days are you available? What hours? Can we get you on short notice? Which I'm always kind of hesitant because it's like, yeah, I know what that means. You're going to let me know the night before that, oh, yeah, we want to use you in something. And, oh, by the way, there's a 6 o'clock set call and you have to drive to Bartlesville or Pawhuska.
Yeah.
Can you do that? And again, like what we were saying before about, being excited and not being able to go to sleep and, and trying to do stuff on no sleep. But that's acting, people.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
That's how it goes. Yeah. You got to be ready.
For sure, yeah. You always got to be ready for anything.
Yeah.
Like you said, volunteering.
Yeah.
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 And getting ready to hear.
As long as they don't want to set me on fire and watch me go screaming down the street. Like they do in some movies where they have the guy who's set on fire and he's waving his arms around like a like a zombie or
like
something.
Anchorman.
Yeah, Anchorman.
That
Yeah.
fight scene. That
Yeah.
random guy just on fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody has to do it.
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Pay me enough money. Give me a credit.
For real, yeah.
Let me be able to join SAG-AFTRA and get my union membership. Is it worth being set on fire for?
It is. It
Yes,
is.
it is.
Oh man.
That's how you get to be rich and famous, right?
Yep, yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta, what is it? You gotta sacrifice yourself.
yeah.
Yeah. And being put
If
on
you
fire is
if
the.
you, if you get a scene that's one of those memorable scenes where people go, you know, I remember seeing that movie and the coolest part was when this guy was literally exploded or whatever. Yeah, I was that
Yeah,
guy.
that was me.
That was me.
That was me.
Oh, you're the guy. Okay. I don't know your name, but I recognize your face. You're that guy that got
blown up.
And I really appreciate this. I do. I appreciate the opportunity and meet and getting to sit and talk with you has been a real blast because you know you're right. You don't get an opportunity to visit with people you film with or
Mm-hmm.
see elsewhere, and
Yeah.
yeah, and get to know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I knew like
So what time do we have dinner? Are you gonna? No, I'm just kidding.
it's McDonald's. No.
There was a movie that I had done an audition for that was supposed to have Wes Studi in it. And
Shit.
I was really looking forward to that. It was called Wildfire, and they were going to shoot it over at Tahlequah. And for whatever reason, he had to bow out of the film.
Did he?
Yeah, and so this other actor took his spot, and he's Mo Brings Plenty, or Moses Brings Plenty. He's a Native American actor
Uh-huh.
who's been in a lot of stuff: Yellowstone, Hell on Wheels, House of Cards, the Cherokee word for water, which I think is funny because there is a word there.
That's what Riker was saying.
Which they don't use.
Yeah. That's the exact same thing he
Yeah.
said.
What's the deal with that? Yeah. And interestingly enough, on 13 Minutes, I acted with Tukala Black Elk, who's a really cool Native American actor, and he also was in Yellowstone. And that's kind of an interesting series to be on. I've not had the opportunity. I had a friend that was going to be on Yellowstone, and he really looks like the epitome of Wild West cowboy kind of guy, and
Mm-hmm.
he was all set to do some episodes, and he broke his arm.
Really?
And he had some kind of issue where the arm broke. It was going to take a long time to heal, and so he missed the opportunity and never quite recovered right. And again, that's one of those things where sometimes stuff happens, sometimes good stuff, sometimes bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Takala was a really cool guy to work with in that movie, 13 Minutes.
Oh, that's where you worked with him. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyway, there you go. Yeah, I was just disappointed that movie Wildfire that they were filming in Tahlequah. I read for a part that was like 32 lines and basically 3 scenes
Really?
to memorize for an audition.
Uh-huh.
And I think I did a good job. And the funny thing about that film was a lot of the actors they got for that film were not Oklahoma actors.
Mm.
They brought them in from outside.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now that they had a lot of extras they used from Oklahoma, but unfortunately,
They brought in their own.
they brought in their own. That's not a good thing to do.
No, that's what I hear a lot too. It's not
Well, if you're
something-
going to do the tax credit thing, you need to employ as many Oklahoma actors as possible.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that movie too, Wildfire.
Yeah. Michael Murphy, the singer who did the song Wildfire, do you remember hearing that song?
Mm-mm.
Probably before you were born. Yeah, Michael Martin Murphy, he was in that film. He played this pastor or preacher, minister, something. Yeah, I would have liked to have met him. He did some really good music
Uh-huh.
back in the day, 70s.
Yeah, I have to look him up.
Now you feel real young and I feel real old. Oh, anyway, this has been a blast.
Yeah.
Are we?
Uh,
You
man,
got any more things you want to talk about?
I kind of want to save like more stuff for later on,
Yeah, we
bro,
can.
because I really like everybody that comes on, I want them to come back,
Okay.
and we'll talk more, stuff we didn't get to talk about. Like we
Sure.
can talk more about that, and there's always stuff to talk about. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like maybe like we got to hear like a part of who David is. Next time we'll learn more, like with your meteorites. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I want to ask a question, but I'm gonna wait.
Okay. You're
So
gonna have to.
I want to
Is this like a TikTok thing where it's like wait for part two?
watch this video and then wait
Watch
for
this.
no.
I hate that. I always scroll away from that. What part two? No, or part three? No, I'm not gonna do it.
There's one we're watching where this girl, God, it got on my nerves, but she found this like safe or something,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and she was like, "We're gonna open this safe. Check out part two." So I go to part two. It's like, all right, we're trying to drill in it. So they're drilling in
Oh
this. They're drilling in it,
no.
right? And then she's like,
There's
"It's
a
not
part
working. It's not working.
three.
Come to part three." So I fucking sat there and I watched that entire thing, and then go to part three, and then she called somebody else to come. So like the whole video is like her saying, "This guy's gonna come try to open it, but he's not coming till the morning. So come for part
Oh
four."
no.
I'm like, "Do I really want to go to
No, you
part
don't want to
four?"
go to part four.
Well, I spent all this time watching
You're
all
committed
these.
now.
I'm in it. I'm in it. And so it's like, so I go to part four, and it's like the morning of, I think, and then she's like, waiting on him. He says he's gonna be late. Come to part five. I'm like, damn it. All right. Finally, part five. He's in there and he's opening it, or he's drilling in it with his special tool or something, and he finally opens it. And she's like, at the first video, I think she's like, man, it could be like money, it could be like
Oh
treasures,
yeah.
something really cool. That's why I stayed.
Yeah.
And so they open it, and there's like this little box, this little bitty box, and all it has is like expired checks.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. So
Sort of like Geraldo's safe, right?
yeah, it's a safe that she found in his house, like they bought, I guess, and it was in the basement. So that's
Oh,
why it
that's
was like that's where
terrible.
the curiosity came. And I sat there and I was like,
It's clickbait, man. It's
I'm gonna
clickbait.
throw my phone and I'm just gonna break this so I don't ever have to get on here
Yeah.
again.
And people wonder, all you TikTokers out there, why you don't get enough followers and you don't get to be influencers because you come up with lame stuff and go to part two to see it. Yeah.
Check out all these vids
I
before
want to
I tell
be,
you.
if I were to do TikTok stuff, I want to be like Leslie Jordan. You know who he is?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's just crazy.
yeah.
He comes on and I mean, you can have one episode and just love it, and then it's like, yeah, I can't wait to see him again. What he's gonna say? He does crazy stuff. Yeah, that's what you want if you want to be an influencer and have people follow you and like stuff and share it. You need to come up with some. And there are some good stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
in
there's
all
some good
fairness,
stuff. Yeah.
but there's some stuff that's like, yeah, I'm not going there.
When I first got on there, it was like, oh man, I fell down this like rabbit hole of conspiracy
Oh
somehow.
yeah.
So my whole timeline or whatever it's called was just filled with like all these like conspiracies and like these alien things, and I
Oh
mean, like it's
yeah,
like interesting to like look at.
we need to talk about
Yeah,
alien stuff.
for real. Yeah, I'm
I've
down.
had a UFO experience.
Have you?
Yeah, we'll save that for later.
Oh yeah, I'm
I mean,
excited.
it's real, man.
Yeah, I'm down to hear it, man. But please let me wait. Let me wait for it because I want to be surprised like
Yes.
whenever like you tell me it because I don't want you to tell me and then I'll be like, oh, I've already heard this.
No, you've not heard this.
But no, like if you told me now,
Oh yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
then like next time you come on, it's like not a surprise,
yeah,
so I won't have like this genuine reaction to it.
yeah.
But man, that's fucking dope. David, thank you for coming on,
Well, thank you for having me.
and thank you for making time to actually come on and drive here. I know everyone's busy, but I appreciate you coming on and having a good time,
It is a
like
good
getting to know
time.
each other, and well,
This podcast should be known for a good time.
you heard it, everybody. This podcast is known for a good time. So
Yes.
don't be afraid to reach out and come on. If I reach out to you, don't be afraid to come on. And we'll just chill. We'll just talk, have some water. If you want a soda, I'll give you a soda. So
What? You have soda? No.
I just got tap water.
Oh,
No,
I just
just
got.
kidding.
All I got was Walmart
It's a
water.
Walmart water. Oh man. But yeah, I guess we're gonna cut this one. And David, you're welcome back anytime. And I can't wait for the next time you do come on, so we can talk more about everything, everything we didn't get to talk about. I hope we're gonna talk about it when you come back on. Uh, but do you want to give out like your social media, how people can follow you or
Follow
contact
me.
you or add you as a friend, or maybe like if you got
You
clips
can.
on YouTube.
You can. Okay. Let's see. Uh, you can. I've got a Facebook page that's just David C. Tam, and you can find some stuff about me on IMDb, the Internet Movie Database. I don't really do much other social media stuff.
Mm-hmm. Add him on Facebook.
Yeah,
He's a good guy, and then
I,
you always know what he's up
Russell's a
to.
good guy.
What he's up to. I'm a good guy. He said it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is where we're gonna cut it. Follow David or add him as a friend if you want. Just always keep up with him, what he's doing, and go check out his IMDb page for past work and future work. And if you're not already following the Okie Podcast Instagram, please do. Also follow the Facebook page Okie Podcast. And if you haven't already, just go ahead and subscribe, rate, review the podcast on all platforms. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts. It's on YouTube. And I just now got it on Amazon Music. So everybody go out there, rate it, review it, love it, hate it, whatever. Whatever, let's get the word out there about Okie Podcast. Until next time, everybody. Peace.